No, he's right. Because the moment you say a real man, it's followed by the most obtuse rubber goose bullshit that a woman can put you through. A real man gonna pay for the date and put a deposit $200 down. A real man gonna pay for the fucking nails. I'm not trying to come off as like a red pill motherfucker, but at some point you gotta like wake up and realize like that shit is kind of crazy. I'm supposed to step up for somebody else's kids? No. Yo, he's right. Yeah, no. When I hear somebody being called a real man, I just know some goofy ass niggas getting taken advantage of.
Listen here, little bitch. The only reason why most niggas have a problem with the way that hoes is trying to treat Russell Wilson and all that shit is because we understand as men that's in the game that you bitches only choose Russell Wilson as a contingency plan.
He ain't lying.
This motherfucker don't miss.
No, he's fucking good.
That motherfucker don't miss, man.
He's good.
That's why so many women are out here sleeping with Pookie and Ray Ray and then complaining about it, because they'll be right there with the damn camera recording it and posting it. You dress like a hoe to your kid's graduation, that's a no-go. So after the Pookie and Ray Ray manipulation techniques in their 20s, then they go for the men who'll be the stepdads in their 30s and 40s, who they can control. Because the manipulation techniques have changed. Because they can bet that you, stepdad, are going to stay in your lane.
This is filthy work.
What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Rome, back with another video. If you're new to the platform, welcome to the tribe. By the end of this video, I hope you subscribe. So I got a video for you guys of a woman who's going to pretty much explain perfectly why men feel a certain way when it comes to this whole Russell Wilson future situation. Now, obviously, this has been covered before. This was covered a couple years ago. Matter of fact, I think I covered this before I even got monetized. So I was kind of surprised to see that this even became a topic again, because it was hitting my TikTok feed like crazy and my YouTube feed. Well, come to find out that the reason why this topic has spun back around is because Channing Crowder said something in particular to Russell Wilson being a lame to some degree, or however you want to call it. And I guess he received a little bit of backlash from women, obviously, for obvious reasons. And they said that Sierra did a response or something on the morning show. But anyway, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a video for you guys of a woman that going to share her thoughts and, about how this conversation all came about, at least from what I can tell. But something tells me that she is going to be on the defensive more than she is on the offensive anyway. And then I'm going to be sharing some other videos of people in response to this as well, especially the fellas. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it.
Probably gonna have to do 2 videos on this. Channing Crowder of The Pivot. I saw the clip of these guys, Ryan Clark, Channing, having this conversation about Russell Wilson. And I'm going to say this, and I mean this from my heart. At what age, as black men, do you all give up wanting to be cool? Ryan Clark brought up the interview that Sierra did on The Breakfast Club and how he felt she handled it with grace. My issue is that what should have been done was you all should have been apologizing. Instead, you talked in circles and still ended up promoting this stereotype that black men are not cool if they not street niggas. And on to say how Sierra handled this with grace, and because Channing's name was brought up by DJ Envy, and how, the coolest thing about Russell Wilson is how he takes care of his family. Channing goes on to say that nobody's going to, change his mind about what he said. And he said Sierra wouldn't Sierra wouldn't have picked, she's from Atlanta. She wouldn't have picked a guy like Russell Wilson if she was still in Atlanta. Now, he then goes on to say that Russell Wilson would be considered cool to inner city Atlanta dudes like him. This man is 41 years old with 3 children. His oldest being a girl. So what you're telling me and the rest of the world is that it's okay for your daughter to go out and date a Future because he's cool, but not Russell Wilson because he's not cool to inner city guys. The ridiculous thing to me is that you are even using inner city dudes from Atlanta as a place to measure. You're measuring Russell Wilson. You're comparing Russell Wilson to dudes in Atlanta who probably ain't never left the hood. And this right here, this type of shit right here, is why it is so difficult for young black boys to ever see themselves being an individual. This is what happens when you give ignorance money. This is what happens when the only option that a lot of them feel they have is rap, the streets, and fucking sports. Why is it that we want to put lame next to people who don't want to share in those experiences of having to come out of the trenches? That wasn't that man's life. So y'all want him to go around here flogging? Y'all want him to go around here acting like he a real street dude and he know for a fact that that is not who he is? That was never his life? So you're going to penalize him for having a better life, for choosing better, and for... I really want black men to start holding black men accountable. It's really disheartening to even hear that y'all are speaking on another black man and his family. And y'all only gripe with this black man is that he's not cool. So if he's not cool, what is Future? And then y'all wonder why so many of these black boys choose to go and jump into shit that they are not even built for because they want to be considered cool. I am very disappointed.
This woman is either missing a plot, doing a really good job of playing dumb, or she just wants to blame everything on men. Channing Crowder said what he said, and that man is not wrong, and y'all just don't like the fact that he had the balls to say it out loud. It's not the fact that we don't think he's cool, whatever the case may be. Here's the funny thing though, and we keep asking y'all this fucking question because this is the shit that really pisses me the fuck off about this damn topic. Why in the fuck do y'all not pick Russell first? And why is it that y'all got a problem with men saying something about him when we all know damn well if the shoe was on the other foot, wouldn't none of y'all women be sitting over here pushing a damn successful woman, a childless successful woman, to go take on another woman's child? Y'all know damn well none of y'all will sit over here and sign up for that shit. Or sit over here and be trying to push that shit. This is a bunch of bullshit. Stop being so dishonest and disingenuous about this goddamn topic. Y'all know the reason why. It ain't a matter of whether we think he cool or not. Y'all are the ones that are picking based off of whether they cool or not. Why the fuck do you think you see so many black men over here saying, damn, I wanted a black girl, but I ended up dating out because I didn't fit the mold? Who the fuck you think put that standard on black men? Other black men? So it's other black men's fault the reason why black women are attracted to the Future type? You explain to me how the fuck that makes any goddamn sense. I'm so sick of you bitches over here trying to blame everything on a fucking man. Even what the fuck y'all attracted to. The fuck out of here. Old tennis ball head some bitch.
A lot of women really only just want to date men who have low vibration, who display these characteristics that won't require him to hold them accountable for their smart ass mouths and their ignorant ass behaviors. You don't have to grow into a woman. That way, you can blame him for everything. That's why so many women out here get the guys that ain't shit. Sorry. The scammers, the drug dealers. How can he hold you accountable for your behavior when he's out here breaking the law or doing things that are wrong? That's how deep the manipulation goes. And then for the guys who are out here making money outside of a job, you're paying for your girl to go to college. The second you get locked up, she's going to tell everybody that you ain't shit and she built herself up on her own. I've seen it. That way, she can always play the victim. And when you speak against this, all these lies, she's going to tell everybody that you're just mad because she left you. But a man is going to have boundaries. You can't dress like a prostitute. You can't talk like an ignorant, uneducated ass woman. You can't behave like a stripper at your kid's birthday party. He's going to have his mouth open because you, if you're the mother of his kids, and you're at his kid's birthday party bent over on camera twerking with your ass cheeks hanging out of your little dress or your vagina print in your leggings showing for the whole world to see. That's why so many women are out here sleeping with Pookie and Ray Ray and then complaining about it because they'll be right there with the damn camera recording it and posting it. You dress like a hoe to your kid's graduation, that's a no-go. So after the Pookie and Ray Ray manipulation techniques in their 20s, then they go for the men who'll be the stepdads in their 30s and 40s who they can control because the manipulation techniques have changed because they can bet that you, stepdad, are going to stay in your lane. Because women usually let the stepdad know, this is my child. Don't tell me how to discipline my child. And this is my house. I run this. Or if you tell her how her daughter should not be dressing, now she's going to call you weird. Like, why are you over here looking at my daughter's body? Worrying about how my daughter is dressing. You're weird. And if y'all hear you're weird like that, you need to run for the hills. If you hear it, it's time to pack your shit. Because weirdo equals pervert, for those of you who didn't know that. She's chastising you so you keep your mouth shut. Just give me your money, even though this isn't your kid, and shut up. And you're a weirdo because you're trying to set boundaries with her and your stepchild. It's all a technique. It is a practice. This is what women apply onto men all the time. And then you get hit with the same old buzzwords. You're controlling, manipulative, you're a narcissist, you're a lame, you're bossy, you're corny, you're lame, you're boring, whatever. All those things for the man who has standards. He's got boundaries. He has expectations. And a lot of times I see women who keep their kids away from their child's fathers. They keep their daughters away. And then when they finally get to be like teenagers and they consider allowing them to come around because they can't control them anymore, they talk about how weird it is because he's been gone for so long. So then she doesn't trust you around your daughter because you might be weird and looking at her funny because you haven't been around her. Like, what? It's all a fucking technique. Women watch and learn everything from other people, from other women, from just other people, and they copy the shit. This is exactly one of the reasons why mothers and fathers need to be in their kids' lives. If the mother's about to go overboard, the father can step in and check that energy. And if the father's about to go overboard in some way, Mama Bear should be right there to check the energy. And for all of y'all out there who grew up with a single mom, y'all can honestly say, I know this. There was 9 times out of 10, nobody around to check your mom's energy when she went overboard, especially your stepdad, because he was trained to stay in his lane. Kids need both parents.
Ooh, man, that doesn't sound like something any man would want to sign up for, bro. Especially when she played out the whole scenario of, if the woman has a girl as a child. Oh my God, bro. Bro. You see that child growing up, going into her womanhood, and she's starting to fill out, and now she want to start wearing all this little short skirt shit, and you over here trying to hey, wear something else, and then the mom over here, Ooh, just thinking about that scenario out loud, man, would scare me to death to even want to be a stepdad. Like, nah, I'm cool. I'm cool. At least maybe with a boy, you might have a little bit more leverage, because obviously the woman wants a male figure around so that way that man will grow up to be a man and not be feminine as hell. But my goodness, when you talk about some structure and boundaries when it comes to the girls, yeah, I can see already that that's gonna be a headache and a fucking problem, bro. Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
All right, all right. I want to speak on this subject. Now, I thought this was over with a couple years ago when this whole thing happened. The Russell Wilson future dynamic with Sierra, right? And my TikTok algorithm seems to be showing me a lot of videos of girls complaining that the black dudes they want to be future so bad, they want to treat girls bad, they hate that Russell Wilson treats it. And I'm just like, I thought we figured this out 3 years ago that this whole conversation was solved, but I guess it's back on the thing now. So maybe I can shed a little wisdom on it. So it's not the fact, I don't think people inherently dislike Russell Wilson. I don't think anybody inherently wants to be future. The point of why a lot of men feel a way about this is because why didn't you date Russell Wilson the first time? And the men are less mad. They could give a fuck about Sierra, right? They more so care as to why Russell Wilson, being Russell Wilson, would even accept something like this. You, sir, are Russell fucking Wilson. At one point in time, you were the guy, the quarterback in the NFL. Why, of all the people that you got to date, that you had to pick from, this is what you land on? Why? Why deal with somebody else's kid when you can have your own family? When you got all these other people lined up to date you, you go and take some dude's seconds, right? Why? I think dudes are more like question, because if I was Russell Wilson and I was a multimillionaire, I certainly would go, start my own family. Actually, I wouldn't. I don't really want kids, but that's besides the point. But I wouldn't go and date somebody's sloppy seconds if I had that pool in the dating pool. You know what I'm saying? Like a Russell Wilson would, right? And so I think, and then it goes to show, it makes dudes upset. The quote unquote good dudes, right? Ain't nobody really good, men or women. Nobody's really good. We're only as good as our situations allow us to be, right? But the quote unquote good dudes they get upset because they're like, oh, you did, and that's where the disconnect comes, because they look at Sierra like, why didn't you date Russell Wilson first? Why didn't you date him prior to dating Future? You knew Future had 5 kids by 5 baby mamas. What made you go and think it was going to work out with him when Russell Wilson was there the entire time? Or not, it's not specifically Russell Wilson, it's the Russell Wilson type. The suburban, more, I guess if you want to call it, corny dude. That's a stereotype in the black community for somebody that's not street. They call it corny, right? So the non-stereotypical hood dude, why didn't you date the Russell Wilson archetype before? Because if you look at Sierra's dating history, she dated pretty much all rappers. Now, you could use the analogy that she was in the industry at the time and doing that, but that was her demographic of people she dated, was pretty much the rap type of dudes. Why didn't she date the Russell Wilson type of dudes before she had the children? Then she wouldn't have became a baby mama if she, theoretically, you could still become a baby mama, but theoretically, she wouldn't have became a baby mama if she would have dated the Russell Wilson type before. And that's where the dudes are upset. And that's where the dudes look at Russell Wilson like he a sucker, because she wouldn't have she had all them years to date your type, and she chose to date the rapper type. And then once she has a kid, once she fucks up and needs help, needs assistance, wants a good father figure that she knew that nigga wasn't the entire time, then yo sucker ass come along and save her. That's what the men are upset about. And see, women don't see it that way. They say, oh, but it's growth. It's trend. It ain't no motherfucking growth when she knew the entire time. You knew who Future was. He says it in his fucking songs all the time. He about how he don't give a fuck about bitches. He don't care. He says it all the time. You knew the type of nigga he was, and you still tried to date him. You still went out and had his baby, and then you turn around and date Russell Wilson. And the fact that Russell Wilson is okay with that, men of high self-esteem or even self-worth are like, ugh, like why would you even want to date that lady? You know what I'm saying? But hopefully that sheds a little light onto why dudes feel the way they feel, because it's just like, why? You're Russell Wilson. You can date pretty much anybody. Why would you take somebody's sloppy seconds? And then to the girl, why didn't you date the Russell Wilson archetype the first time? That's why people are upset, specifically the men.
I couldn't explain that any better than myself. As a matter of fact, he basically shared the same sentiment as me. But I really want to harp on the childless man. What is it with what is it with women that seem to want to overlook that part? Have y'all ever noticed that whenever it comes to this Sierra Russell Wilson situation? Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I think men would probably look at this a lot different if Russell Wilson already had children, and maybe y'all wanted to do y'all own version of the Brady Bunch and bring both together, and he doing his thing and what have you. I don't think men would look at it the same way. But the fact that this man was childless, you feel me? And around that time, I believe he was one of the highest paid quarterbacks, just won the Super Bowl, if I believe so correctly. I can't remember the timeline all too well because I don't really pay attention to this shit all like that in detail. But because from what people say in the comments, ever since he's been with her is pretty much where his NFL career has spiraled to what it is now. However, again, why women in that situation aren't looking at him with their eyebrows raised? Like, why come you didn't pick a woman that was childless like you and just start your own family? You got all this money and all this success. Because in these women's mind, it's Sierra. She's you feel me? She's a pop star and she's attractive. Like that's enough to make up for her already having a child, especially with somebody like Future. And let's also keep in mind that she dated Bow Wow and 50 as well too. So as much as these women want to sit over here and want to back Sierra, she ain't no different than y'all. I'm like, y'all know better. Y'all know. And this is my thing too. Y'all can't sit over here and make this argument without looking in the mirror. Because deep down, y'all know y'all always choose the futures first. Otherwise, this wouldn't even be a back and forth in the fucking first place. Goofy asses, man. Let's continue.
Listen here, little bitch. The only reason why most niggas have a problem with the way that hoes is trying to treat Russell Wilson and all that shit is because we understand as men that's in the game that you bitches only choose Russell Wilson as a contingency plan. You only choose Russell Wilson after the dumb nigga or the fuck nigga that you've been dealing with for all this time fucks you over so bad that you can't go back to the nigga. Or you on the other side of life and the nigga that you've been fucking with is not trying to be serious with you. So you gotta go find somebody that's trying to be serious. Now, granted, you can drop somebody and go pick up somebody the next day. I'm not taking that away from Sierra. But the only thing I have a problem with, and a lot of men have a problem with, is that you bitches are trying to make it seem like Russell Wilson is your norm. Russell Wilson is not your norm. He never has been. That's why Sierra didn't go fuck with him when she didn't have no kids. Sierra didn't go fuck with him before she fucked Bow Wow, 50 Cent, and Future. She didn't go fuck with him before all the bad shit came about. She went through the bad shit, learned that there's consequences for her actions, and said, hey, can I go find somebody that'll deal with this shit? And it just so happened to be Russell Wilson. But think about the life he lived, where he was never in no type of allegations, where he was never in the media and no cheating scandals. He was never in the media for doing no other shit but being a great football player. So think about a bitch who's been living her life at the highest status, fucking and doing whatever the fuck she wanted to do her whole life, not caring about consequences. versus a nigga who's been on his purpose and actually got himself through the mud to get to where the fuck he gotta be, just for a bitch to understand that he's been on his purpose and on his drive all this time to then now come and try to fuck with him as the last option. You bitches make Russell Wilson the contingency plan. He's not the first choice, because if he was the first choice, he wouldn't be a stepdad. Right. In 2015, Future dropped Dirty Sprite 2. In 2015, the Seahawks won the Super Bowl. Who was the better choice? She chose the nigga that she wanted to choose, and she had a baby and procreated with the nigga. So stop trying to make it seem like Future better than Russell Wilson, and stop trying to make it seem like Russell Wilson is better than Future. At the end of the day, it's all about where the bitch is at in her life and how her life is going for her to choose either she gonna fuck with Future or she gonna fuck with Russell Wilson. That's it.
Every time this Russell Wilson shit comes up between guys that are like him and guys that are like Future, I always sit back and I'm just like, why are y'all fucking lying? Like, why do y'all sit out here and act like if you had a choice between the two, you would take the guy that's more like Future? You would. This is what it's been proven to be forever. And I'm not talking about take money aside, because if you knew a motherfucker like Russell Wilson had that motherfucking bread, you might look at him as a trick. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong in that regard. I'm willing to be wrong. It is what it is. But all throughout my fucking childhood, my school life, my early adult life, and even now in my 30s, women gravitate towards the guys that give off the essence of a Future type guy. They completely ignore the motherfuckers that look like Russell Wilson. I don't understand this shit. And I'm not saying something that's not true. It's literally right there. That shit is about as true as the next car that passed by is gonna be a fucking black one. Watch. Watch. What did I tell you? And it's like you get all these think pieces like, oh, we need more Russell Wilsons. We need less Future. We need a... Hey, listen, you go after who you want to go after. You like who you like. There's nothing wrong with liking who you like. Let's get that, understood right now. But let's not act like the guys that are like Future tend to be choosing first over the guys that are like Russell Wilson. That's just how it is. Then when you realize these Future type guys ain't really, it's cool, but I want stability. I want stuff that's like, I want to be taken serious. Then you go to the motherfuckers that are like Russell Wilson. But then it might be too late because they probably done bagged up by somebody who saw the value in them before any of this bullshit happened. You see what I'm saying? All in all, man, I just wish people would stop fucking lying. Like, can we stop fucking lying, bruh? Can we stop? Because even if we had an influx, because there are Russell Wilson type guys out here, but even if it was like you had the option to choose A or B, y'all would still choose the motherfucker that was like Future. Stop this. And while you stopping shit, stop by the YouTube channel. Abdul Aesthetics on YouTube. Link in the bio. I don't know how many times I gotta tell y'all this. Link in the bio. Rock with the YouTube channel.
Y'all want to really get men to quit thinking this way about this whole topic? This is what you do. Start picking the Russell Wilsons first. How about y'all come online and start speaking on how y'all need to pick the Russell Wilsons first, instead of quit talking and bragging about how much y'all prefer the hood guys and how the Sadiddy and the good girls like the hood guys. How about y'all get all that corrected on your side instead of sitting over here and deflecting and blaming everything on us? Do that first and start picking those Russell Wilsons first. Do that. And then men won't have anything to men won't have an argument now, then, will they? And not only that, it'll actually incentivize more men to want to be like that. Because y'all punish men who tend to be more like him, and y'all reward men that tend to act more like Future. So what the fuck you think the men are gonna do? Men don't have to tell other men that. All we gotta do is pay attention to who the fuck y'all sleeping with. Y'all let me know what you thought about this. If you're new to the platform, please subscribe. OGs, I appreciate the love and support. Make sure y'all hit that bell notification. That way y'all know when I'm uploading. Hit the like button because that's with the algorithm and helps me reach a broader audience. Also look out for the travel vlog channel as well as the live show channel. Both links are in the description. Until the next video, y'all. Deuces.